Welcome to this body assessment with me, your healthy movement instructor, Sasha Afonina. This assessment will help you identify what kind of physical activity is truly right, beneficial, and suitable for your body at this stage of your life. I'd like to remind you that when we restore the body's fundamental movement patterns and overall function, it gradually becomes ready for more challenging forms of exercise. Year by year, your body can move with greater freedom and handle more, but everything begins with a strong foundation. A healthy body is capable of any movement when it's developed gradually. Now, let's see where you are today. We'll begin with the pelvis as it's one of the key areas. Your pelvis sits at the center of your body, and how well it functions determines whether your lumbar area and neck become overloaded. Our assessment will also help you understand why your knees, lower back, or neck may hurt during exercise. We'll also check the mobility of your thoracic spine, which is very important for abdominal exercises. We'll see whether the functional systems responsible for rotational movement are working well. These systems are essential for stability, core control, and performing different types of physical activity safely. You may find that your body isn't quite ready for certain exercises yet, and that's completely normal. The most important thing is to do this assessment for yourself, not for me or any other instructor. Be honest about where your body is today and what you can do to improve the way it moves and functions. Let's begin with the pelvis. Come into a tabletop position. Our main goal right now is to find out how mobile your pelvis is. The main landmarks in this assessment are your sit bones. Find them with your hands and take a moment to feel them. They shouldn't be locked. Healthy sit bones move freely. Now we'll see how well they move in your body. Come into a neutral pelvic position. Place your hands under your shoulders and your pelvic area over your knees. Let your spine find its natural alignment. Relax your pelvis so your lumbar region isn't rounded. Allow your spine to keep its gentle, natural curve, the natural lumbar lordosis. The same natural curve should remain through your neck. Once you've released your pelvis, notice whether you can feel your sit bones gently widening apart. Take an inhale and slowly begin shifting your body back. This is where the assessment begins. Notice what happens to your sit bones. Do they widen apart, or does your pelvis begin to tuck under instead? I'll show you both versions. The second option already tells us there is tension in your pelvic floor, especially in the posterior triangle of the pelvic floor. This prevents your sit bones and tailbone from moving freely, which also limits the movement of your sacrum. As a result, your pelvis won't move efficiently during about 90% of your everyday movements. Let's try again. Relax. Gently press the floor away with both your hands and your knees. Soften your pelvis. Take a slow inhale and begin shifting your body back. Notice whether your sit bones begin to widen apart or whether they doesn't happen. They widen first, and then at a certain point you'll feel your pelvis begin to tuck under. That's where you should stop. Avoid letting your pelvis tuck. I can shift quite far back because my sit bones continue to widen, but as you can see, I don't reach my feet because that's where the pelvis would definitely begin to curl under. If I feel that I've reached my maximum point and move any lower, my pelvic bones immediately start to tuck under. My pelvis stays in neutral, my sit bones remain open and my lumbar region doesn't round. Keep the pelvis neutral. Now come forward again and repeat this movement a few more times at your own pace. Inhale as you shift back and exhale as you return forward. Your pelvis is working efficiently when your sit bones widen well and allow you to shift back a comfortable distance, not necessarily as far as I do, but following a similar path. As you move, your pelvis stays neutral. Your sit bones remain open and you may already begin to feel your glute muscles working. I certainly do, because my sit bones are moving the way they should and my pelvis is functioning efficiently. Keep your shins gently pressing into the floor. That's another important detail. If your shins don't rest on the floor, it may indicate an imbalance between the front and back lines of your body. This is exactly what we focus on in my programs. Now, let's do the same movement standing. The hip hinge is a fundamental movement pattern used in squats and deadlifts. It will clearly show you why your lower back or neck may become sore after performing these movements. Place your feet parallel, leaving about 8 to 10 centimeters between them. This should match the width of your hip joints. Now we'll focus on bending from the hips. Shift your pelvis back as if you're trying to reach the wall behind you with your sit bones, just like we practiced in the basic weight shift. Feel your sit bones widening apart. Only then allow your knees to soften slightly. Your torso naturally leans forward, but don't confuse this with simply bending over. Keep your spine long and neutral, maintaining its natural curve in the lower back. Stop at the point where your sit bones are as open as possible while your pelvis stays neutral. Feel the load transfer into your glutes instead of your lower back. Now I'll show you a common mistake. Here, the lower back rounds and takes on all the work, while the glutes stay relaxed because the sit bones can't open. I can already feel discomfort in my lower back while my glutes remain inactive. Here's what the hip hinge looks like at a faster pace when the pelvis and sit bones are blocked. The knees bend more than necessary, the pelvis tucks under, and after the workout your lower back and knees hurt, while your glutes still haven't done their job. Now let's return to the correct movement. Hinge at the hip points, shift your pelvis back and allow your sit bones to open. Then press your feet into the floor to return to the standing position. Continue with me. In all of my programs, you'll find short instructional videos that teach the correct technique for the fundamental exercises. It's important to refine them gradually so you can get the greatest benefit from your workouts. I explain every exercise in detail while keeping moving without interruptions. This helps you not only perform the exercises correctly, but also learn to feel and understand your body. So, let's move on to another pelvic assessment. I really enjoy this movement. We'll be doing a wide squat. Turn your feet out to about a 45-degree angle. If you're around 160 centimeters tall, place your feet about as wide as mine. If you are taller, you may need a slightly wider stance. Now, begin lowering into your squat. Our goal is to keep the pelvis in a neutral position. See whether you're able to maintain that. Let your knees move out to the sides. If your hips don't have enough external rotation, it may be difficult to open your knees wide. Some of you will already reach your limit here and start tucking your pelvis because your hips have reached the available range of motion. Watch what happens. As I squat, my pelvis stays neutral without tucking under. If the pelvis curls down, the load shifts back into the spine. But when the pelvis stays neutral, it's in the correct position relative to the hip joints. It's very important to keep your entire foot firmly grounded, including your toes. If you go lower than your current mobility allows, your pelvis will begin to tuck under. So choose the depth that is right for you while keeping your sit bones open. Let your knees continue moving out to the sides and allow your torso to lengthen upward. Try the squat once more and notice what your body needs today. You may already have enough mobility, no discomfort in your knees, active feet, and sit bones that widen easily. If so, you may already be ready to progress to growing or glowing level in my club. Your body is ready for that level of training. Stay here for another moment and notice whether your sit bones remain gently widened apart. Everything related to joint mobility, opening the sit bones, and restoring healthy pelvic floor function, which so often prevents the pelvis from working efficiently, we'll explore in more detail in the Total Body Evolution Club. Now we may come back up or see whether you can lower a little deeper. If you're not ready yet, don't rush into intense workouts with lots of squats, especially if you're adding weight. This may not be safe for your lower back, hip joints, knees, and even your neck. Your body needs to be ready before you progress to faster movements or heavier weights. And believe me, if you completed the first 3 assessments at only about 30%, it's much better to improve those first and only then gradually increase your training intensity. We have our whole lives ahead of us. There is no need to rush. We can build this gradually, step by step. Now let's assess your plank. Place your hands directly under your shoulders. Make sure your hands are directly beneath your shoulder joints. Lengthen through the crown of your head. Extend one leg first, straighten it completely, reach back through your heel. Then extend the second leg. What happened to your body? Where is your pelvis now? If your lumbar area is arching too much, it usually means your deep stabilizing muscles have not engaged enough. If your shoulder blades are winging or you're sinking into your shoulders, it means your shoulder blades, shoulder joints, and deep stabilizing muscles aren't yet ready to support this position efficiently. Now slowly begin bending your knees. Notice what happens to your pelvis. Can it remain stable in its position? Rest. Lower one knee, then the other, and gently lengthen your body back. How do your arms, shoulders, and shoulder blades feel? If you notice significant discomfort in your lumbar region or around your shoulder joints, it's a sign that your body isn't ready for planks yet. The plank is not a moderate level exercise. It's best introduced once your deep stabilizing system is functioning well. Let's try once more. Come into your plank. One leg, then the other. Now begin drawing one knee toward your hand, then alternate. Notice what's happening with your pelvis. Does it start moving up and down? Does it lift higher than the line of your back? Your pelvis should stay slightly lower than your shoulder blades because your arms are longer than your feet. You can gently draw your pubic bone toward your navel. There should be no discomfort in your lower back, shoulders, or around your shoulder blades. If you feel a lot of pressure in your wrists, it may also indicate that your shoulder blades and shoulder joints aren't providing enough stability. Good stability begins with proper positioning of your shoulder blades and joints. Now let's move on to assessing your abdominal muscles. We already checked how your deep stabilizing system works in the plank, as well as the stability of your shoulders and shoulder blades. Now we'll assess your core. This is where most mistakes happen. Hold behind your knees, gently draw your pubic bone toward your navel and slowly roll yourself onto the mat, one vertebra at a time. Keep your knees bent. Place your hands behind your head, not behind your neck. Interlace the fingers and let your head rest completely in your hands. Take an inhale, then complete your usual abdominal curls just the way you've always done it. Look at your abdomen. Notice what's happening in the lower part of your belly. For now, don't press your lower back area into the floor. You'll most likely notice doming along the midline. If you've ever been told to press your lower back into the floor, do that now and repeat the same curl. Can you see that? The doming becomes more pronounced. It bulges even more because your lower back is forcefully pressed into the floor and made completely flat. That places your pelvis and spine in a position where your transverse abdominis can't work efficiently. Instead, gently press your sacrum, the back of your pelvis, into the floor and try again. If you still notice a dome forming through your abdomen, it most likely means that your thoracic spine doesn't have enough mobility. Because of that, you can't lift your spine off the floor one vertebra at a time while allowing your deep stabilizing system, especially your transverse abdominis, to engage effectively. At the same time, the natural curve in your lower back remains while your pelvis is stabilized through your sacrum. Once you have that stability, your body's deep support system is working properly and your transverse abdominis engages automatically. You can't consciously switch it on in isolation. When that happens, abdominal exercises won't cause lower back pain and your abdomen won't bulge. Every time your abdomen bulges like this, it creates pressure on your pelvic floor and very often even makes your belly larger, because when your deep core isn't engaging properly, it places even more strain on one of its key components, the pelvic floor. That's why for many people this way of doing abdominal exercises causes more harm than good. You've just completed this assessment and seen how your own body responds. Can you lift without creating a dome through your abdomen? If your abdomen stays flat, it means you have good control of your body, you're aware of how it moves, and your deep stabilizing system is working efficiently. Most likely, the plank felt comfortable for you as well. If your abdomen bulges or a dome appears, it's best to start with the grounded level of the Total Body Evolution Club and activate your deep core system. Now let's do one more assessment for your abdominal muscles. This one is very revealing. Lift one leg, bend in your knees, then lift the other. Place your arms with your palms facing down. Now slowly bring one leg toward the floor. Notice that the movement shouldn't come from bending or straightening your knee. Instead, the leg lowers from the hip joint while the knee keeps the same angle. As you see, I lower my leg, my pelvis stays completely still. Now I'll show you what most commonly happens when there isn't enough stability and the deep abdominal muscles aren't working efficiently. In that case, the movement starts coming from the lumbar area, instead creating pressure on the pelvic floor. If you can't stabilize your pelvis during this movement, it will shift into an anterior tilt. The arch in your lower back will increase and you'll notice a dome forming through your abdomen. This tells us that unfortunately your deep stabilizing system isn't yet engaging the way it should. In that situation, intense workouts, strength training, gym exercises, lifting weights, fast-paced workouts, or jumping may do more harm than good for now. At this stage, your body simply isn't ready for that level of training yet, and it's okay. Now let's assess your arms and shoulders. I'll use a pair of light dumbbells, but you can do this test without any weights. It's best to perform it in front of a mirror. Stand evenly on both feet. Slowly raise your straight arms out to the sides and observe what happens with your shoulders. Right now, my hands are still below shoulder height and my shoulders remain stable. Stable means they stay soft and don't lift upward. But as I continue raising my arms higher, my shoulders begin to move up. Notice exactly at what point your shoulders start lifting. This usually means your upper trapezius is becoming overactive, while your shoulder blades doesn't have enough mobility. It can also be caused by limited movement of the shoulder blade along the rib cage, as well as reduced mobility in the shoulder joint. That's why a slouched posture, a rounded upper back, or a forward head position may not let you lift your arms without compensating through your shoulders. In many workouts, you're simply told to lift your arms higher or to shoulder high, without taking into account that your posture may no longer allow this movement without excessive tension in your upper trapezius and shoulder joints. As a result, your neck becomes overloaded, you begin to feel stiffness or even headaches, and that's often what makes people lose the desire to keep exercising. Instead of motivating you, it creates fear. You may start thinking, oh, it's going to hurt, I'll just feel more tension, I don't want to do these exercises anymore, fitness isn't for me. I've been through this myself. It took time to fully restore my body using the same system I now teach you inside my Total Body Evolution Club. There was a time when even the simplest exercise with a 1 kilogram dumbbell made me feel anxious. Today I can do that same exercise with 3 to 4 kilograms and finish my workout without any tension in my upper trapezius or my neck. So be thoughtful when choosing your exercises and only do the ones your body is truly ready for. Now, let's move on to our final functional assessment. We'll see how well your functional muscle change work together. Come into a Romberg position. At the same time, we'll also check your balance, which is another good indicator of how well your deep stabilizing system is working. I'm mirror talking, so place your left foot in front and your right foot behind. Begin gently rotating your rib cage to the right and then to the left. Keep your weight evenly distributed between your front and back foot. Let the movement come from your rib cage, not from your arms. Now add the arms movement forward and back. Notice whether your rib cage continues to move as well. Very often people perform this movement only with their arms while the rib cage hardly moves at all or have gradually lost the ability to move this way. Now let's transfer this movement into functional walking. As one leg steps forward, the opposite arm moves forward and your torso also gently rotates together with the front arm. As you step back, your torso creates the same gentle opposite rotation. Notice whether your upper body rotates towards the leg that's stepping forward, moving in sync with the opposite leg. Does this movement feel challenging for you? I work with many people over the age of 65, and during the first year and a half, restoring this diagonal movement pattern was one of the most challenging parts of their journey. Most of them were moving through only one side of the body, which gradually overloads the spine and joints, reduces overall stability, affects balance, and over time can lead to many different movement dysfunctions. It took about a year at each person's own pace for this movement pattern to be fully restored. Now try moving again using this cross-body walking pattern. Can you clearly feel your torso rotating? Then, the next time you are walking, notice whether your rib cage moves as you walk. Of course, the range of motion will be smaller than in the previous exercise, but it's important that your rib cage still takes part in the movement while your arm naturally swings forward and back. Very often people either stop using their arms and walk using only their legs and hips, or they swing their arms actively while their rib cage remains completely still. What matters most is that your rib cage is moving. And since we're already talking about the thoracic spine, I'd also like to invite you to assess your breathing. Until your breathing becomes efficient, positive changes in your body may either not happen at all or simply not last. No matter what exercises we do, how much weight we lift, or how often we train, breathing is the key that makes lasting, meaningful results possible. So now I'd like to invite you to complete the breathing assessment. Make sure you don't skip it. Let me know of everything you observe, every new insight you gain about your body. If you experienced even the slightest difficulty during any of the previous assessments, the Total Body Evolution Club is a perfect fitness place to start, because the training inside the club progresses gradually. There are 3 levels and you'll move step by step from the first to the third. I'd love to welcome you to the program. Let's test your breathing pattern. Sit upright with a long lifted spine. Place one hand on the front of your ribcage and the other on your lower abdomen. Take a calm breath in and notice where do you feel movement. Under which hand? As you exhale, observe whether your abdomen naturally draws in. Does your ribcage soften down on its own? Repeat a few times. Now place your hands on the sides of your ribs. Take another calm inhale and feel whether your ribs expand sideways. Does the volume of your ribcage increase under your hands? At the same time, notice whether your lower abdomen also relaxes on the inhale and gently engages on the exhale. Next, place your hands on your neck and upper trapezius muscles. Do you send most of your breath into these areas? When you inhale, do your shoulders lift? Does your neck or trapezius tense up? Or do they stay relaxed? Breathing should move in all directions, so let's test the back as well. Keep one hand on your abdomen and place the other on your back. Can you feel even a small movement under your hand when breathing? You'll find the breathing test results in the caption below.